All right, good afternoon and welcome to today's Business Watch episode. It is the 24th of April. My name is Sifiso Ngumalo. Really delighted to have you join us on the program today. And as usual, I'm with my co-host, Lungelele Makakulam. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing very well. Particularly excited about our engagement today with Nedbank Eswatini. Saneliso Ndando, who is the electronic banking specialist, is going to join us to talk about their digital solutions, particularly their corporate banking digital solution, which is, tailored for everybody that's in business, and it comes with a lot of convenience, a lot of it. You want to stay on the program with us to learn about all of that we're going to talk about with Mr. Ndando. But we also want to look at today's financial markets with Toba Kametse, the Treasury Sales Manager. Commodities, all is up, everything is on the green. It's the same story when it comes to equities today. The dollar lost some strength compared to Monday and Tuesday. We want to look at all those numbers and what Lilangeni today is looking like compared to major currencies around the world. All of that later on the program. Welcome to the program once again.
Good afternoon and welcome again. My name is Lungelele Makakula. On the show today, we will have a discussion on grievance policies with Tuli Gama, who is the acting senior labor officer. Following that, the Conciliation, Mediation, Arbitration Mission, which is CIMAC, has advised businesses to have well-crafted grievance policies that provide well-structured framework for addressing and promoting fairness, accountability, and trust within the workplace. We will talk about how important it is to handle a grievance promptly in a business to maintain positive work environment. Nelisiwe, our journalist, will join us later on the show. For now, let's go to business news.
Welcome back. Eswatini Savings and Credit Cooperatives say they have measures in place to make sure that they curb money laundering, to ensure that Eswatini stays safe from being blacklisted in trade and other avenues around the world. The president of the Eswatini Savings and Credit Cooperative Association, Winile Vilane, says they always engage their members of the importance of complying with the laws, especially by the Financial Services Regulatory Authority.
As Eswatini National Association of Credit Unions in the Kingdom of Eswatini, we always encourage our primary circle members to ensure that they know they are members and they are aware of because for us, we want to ensure that we do not have Emaswati depending on one revenue stream, but we should move away from salary base and ensure that they've got other means of providing them with income. So with that, if the primary circle knows the member, then they'll be able to deal with the members. As much as members find it very difficult that it is their own thing, but in terms of compliance will ensure that stakeholders have trust on the organization, and it will ensure growth, because these are international. It's not just the kingdom, but it's an international law where we, as the country, we need to be seen upholding issues of money laundering, reporting transactions. So in terms of that, it is what we encourage as National Association.
Different savings and credit cooperative leaders share their views on money laundering.
In terms of measures that are in place in preventing money laundering in our various places of work, first of all, we do KYC. Whenever we onboard a member or a client, we must know very well about that particular member. We do background check. Furthermore, we have internal risk assessment that we do internally. So whenever somebody comes and bring money, that particular person must have a source of fund declaration.
We have had a couple of suspicious transactions since we started complying with the requirement. Firstly, I must indicate that we have an internal policy that addresses how we handle issues of money laundering. And above that policy, we train staff on how to handle such and how to identify suspicious transactions. We also train our board of directors and our members. Over and above that, we also report to the external functions that are responsible for taking and investigating such reports.
The General Manager of the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, Zamadla Mini, has previously said there are a number of ongoing trainings with relevant stakeholders on the anti-money laundering guidelines. For Business Watch, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
The Conciliation, Mediation, Arbitration Commission, CMAC, has advised businesses to have well-crafted grievance policies that provide well-structured framework for addressing and promoting fairness, accountability, and trust within the workplace. The acting executive director, Tembinkosi Dlamini, said this as he detailed the grievance handling and discipline workshop by the arbitration held at the Happy Valley Hotel at Eswatini.
For a business or any other entity to thrive, there is a need for a work environment that allows employees to voice their concerns without fear of retaliation. To prevent disputes in different workplaces, the Conciliation, Mediation, Arbitration Mission has engaged different stakeholders, equipping them with skills of the workplace as well as the importance of following labor laws.
The issue of prevention comes in as a key focus area for us as a commission to say, how do we make people not to go to the issue of engaging in dispute handling by firstly promoting the issue of prevention. So that is the objective of this training that we're hosting today. One of the key objectives of the training that we're having today is firstly to give an overview of the national labor laws. It is very critical that as labor practitioners, HRs, senior managers, union officials, to understand that as a country we have different national labor laws that we must conform into.
Participants from different organizations say productivity is hinged on good performance. They say if they understand the laws, they will be in a better position to make the work environment favorable.
In terms of helping us as an HR practitioner, as I said, it's good to be relevant with the laws, because in the environment of employment or the workspace, we apply laws.
I come from a trade union space, hence the training from CMAC. Ikona kusita to bridge the gaps that you find that between the employer and the employee exist in terms of procedures. Nasikhulumisa dismissals, hearings.
Since ngilophinze ngika finance kuyangisita kakhulu ngoba lokunye ngekuthi kuhenglisheke kabi ukhanza ukuthi sekubanga ukuthi sibhadale ku-coste indleko, so lama trainings ayasita kakhulu lokuthi nje sikhone ku-understanda kahle kwenta letinfo singakhanzi sesishayele umcashi tinyoni.
The acting executive director of CMAC says more trainings will be conducted to equip stakeholders, including businesses, with the right knowledge on following the right procedures when handling grievances. For Business Watch, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
All right, that's how we mark the end of our business news. We want to go for a net break. Go drink some water. We'll be back right now in a minute.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 222-000 or dial *007 *3 *7 hash, or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any Nedbank branch using our TV license account number 1199004337. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Nedbank Business Watch. I'm now joined by Tuli Gama, who's the acting senior labor officer, to talk about grievances on how companies, why it's important for companies to craft grievance policies. She joins me now. A very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us, Tuli Sabangutubenasi. I think we're discussing a very important topic today, policies, grievance policies. Firstly, I think before we get into the crafting of policies, what qualifies as a grievance?
Thank you very much, Tombeni, for the opportunity, for awarding us the opportunity. But first and foremost, let me start by talking about what is it that is expected from employers, employees. We will know that we have the labor laws that governs the relationship between employers and employees. So an employer, we usually advise either parties that they must come to the Department of Labor for advice, and also we educate them on what the labor law states. An employee is expected to be received or welcomed at work by the employer. So the employer is the one who's supposed to have all the legislations that covers the relationship between employers and employees, which I might just list a few. Which is the Employment Act number 5 of 1980, the Industrial Relations Act, the Workmen's Compensation Act, the Occupational Health and Safety Act, and the Factories and Machinery Act, and also the Wages Act. So basically, this law, more especially the industrial relations, look at the relationship between the employer to maintain is to be harmonious or to be friendly, to be an employee is expected not to work under duress, but also to be free at work. This is all covered by the law. As you may refer you to Section 109 of the Industrial Relations Act, which talks about code of conduct. Those are mainly guidelines that helps employers to develop their policies. Okay. So basically there must be policies in place, which includes the grievance procedure, how to handle grievances, how does it reach out to be called it is a grievance, or how does it qualify to be a grievance, and how do you report your grievance to your employer or to your supervisor. There are stages, let me say it or put it out loud, that there are stages that need to be followed, but these policies must be in place and the employee must have access and must have known about them, which also include a disciplinary code. You might not come today and say you'll discipline me on I would say by drinking tea during maybe my working time, not tea break. You cannot discipline me. So there must be a clear policies in place that the employer and the employee are aware of, and the employee is entitled to have such policies so that he can refer to them now and again.
Yeah. So how important is it to handle grievances promptly as a business, particularly to maintain a positive environment at the workplace? And also, what negative impacts are there if they are left unattended?
Basically, there is something that we call workplace cooperation, whereby the flow of information must be it can be from the senior person to the person at the shop floor level. So also from the shop floor level, that doesn't mean it's a one-way, it's a two-way, how to handle grievances. So basically what we have to do is that an employer must not take time to address such grievances, because this can also jeopardize the relationship between the employer and his employees. This will demotivate me as an employee coming to work. So the procedures that has to be in place, it must be also the employees must be aware of such procedures. We also emphasize that to employers that these procedures or policies, it can be on electronically, it can be on hard copies, but the employees must be aware, and also must be in the employees files, so that when anything that happens, you cannot judge me as an employee stating that you've committed or you've done a misconduct, yet is not stipulated in that code of conduct.
Yeah, and also I think it has to be clear on what really qualifies as a grievance. Employees should be clear on what is a grievance and what should be considered as a grievance and what should not. Could you kindly just explain what qualifies to be a grievance?
Basically, a grievance is something that is I would say something that is it would be something that is not covered by the employees, or it's a breach of contract that the employer has done, which raises up a grievance to the employee that now angisakhona ukusebenza ngekuthi nginesikhalo akusahambelani naloku bengikwenda mina. So there must be an open or a table whereby as an employee I have to come to my supervisor. As I stated, there must be the grievance procedure in place on how to handle grievances and how to report grievances. And I may take you back to the Employment Act, Section 39 of the Employment Act 1980, which stipulates that even though the employee might have found to have committed a misconduct or has to be suspended, it must be within a stipulated period, which means that you cannot suspend an employee more than a month.
Okay, so I think there are some entities, Tuli, that still make employees go during public holidays. I think one would consider that as a grievance.
Yes.
So, what's in velomthetfo ngaloko kokusebenta kuma employees on a public holiday?
Thank you very much, Mtomben. That question, it's really an outcry. Even now, when I'm from the office, it's just those questions are flocking and employees are flocking in. So what I would say, previously, we had legal notices that list the number of holidays. But as from 2023, you will also recall that the minister had a press statement, if I'm not mistaken, 14th August 2023, whereby he was, the Honorable Minister was also saying that public holidays are all observed. Are all observed as according to the Public Holidays Act number 71 of 1938, which is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So us as the Ministry of Labor, we have no mandate to say this is a public holidays, or us as the Ministry of Labor under the wages councils, because we have council that sit to negotiate on basic minimum wage of employees and employees under certain industries, which we have 18 currently. So all these gazettes, all the holidays in those gazettes, as from 22 backwards, were removed, were cancelled, were revoked by the legal notices of 2023. So it doesn't give now the list of employees, of the holidays, but it states that all public holidays shall be observed in accordance in accordance with the Public Holidays Act of 71 of 1938, and any holiday that falls in employee's workday, that employee shall be paid with full pay, which means the employee is entitled with full pay to be at home during public holidays. But that doesn't mean that the employer shall not engage, may not engage the employee. Yeah. Consultation engagement is key. So basically it's an agreement between the two. But the law is clear that all public holidays must be observed and every employee is entitled to. And only the employer and employee can agree on such terms, whereby the employee is supposed to work on that public holiday, is supposed to be compensated according to the law.
So it go by decision yakho between your employer.
Yes,
but the law dictates yes, employees should not be at work on a public holiday.
Yes, but you cannot force. You are not, as an employer, not supposed to force an employee.
Yeah. Because some employees would probably lodge in a complaint or a grievance. It's a public holiday, but still, but good day provision. Perhaps a transport. What's in terms and conditions in terms of providing transport for employees that are working on a public holiday?
Well, we don't have such on covering employees, transport covering or the law covering employees working on a public holidays, but we have, as per the different gazettes, different sectors, whereby it states that if ever the employee is supposed to start working before 6:30 or out from 6:30 above, the employer shall provide transport free of charge. So as the employee is who is going to remain at work after 6 or so, the employer shall provide transport free of charge. Okay. Or they may agree how much to compensate each other. Some other businesses, they do have transport or hire private transport to transport their employees. Okay. So basically, the employers, we are working hand in hand with them, and we urge them to comply with the law and also to correct their policies. By now, looking at the gazettes were issued out were effective from the 10th of August 2023. By now, we were expecting that all employers comply with the wages regulation orders that were issued accordingly.
Just to get clarity from you, Tuli, on the procedure of lodging your complaint or grievance, can I do it in writing, or it can't be verbal when I'm doing it for the first time?
For the first time, you can raise it to your supervisor or the next person who is in charge, and also it is wise that we advise the employers to put it down in writing. The reason why I say so, it's because some will turn to a blind eye, whereby they will not attend to such issues. Therefore, the employee will come to the Ministry of Labour or the Office of the Commissioner to state that we have complaints based on this. Then we have to look at the records, the procedures, the stages, if ever they were all exhausted according to the company policies.
Okay. So is it possible that my grievance can I take it further, after speaking to my supervisor, after speaking to the HR office, to the CEO, and to CIMAC? Is it possible for it to get that far?
Yeah, it is possible. It's your right, basically. So what we have to do, if ever your supervisor is not handling that issue, you still have a right to take on the next stage and as to what you have to do according to the policies.
All right, so let's talk about T's and C's, what your employer needs to tell you before hiring or even signing anything. How important is it for your employer to tell you about that?
Thank you very much, Mthomben. What's supposed to happen is when these two engage each other, you recall that there is a probation period. probation period, according to the law, it's supposed to be 30 days or less. So what happened is, based on Section 22 of the Employment Act, it talks about the written particulars of employment, which it's not a contract of employment, but it is used within the 3 months of probation, whereby it states that from 6 to 8 calendar weeks, the employer must have given that to you so that you know what are you entitled to in this organization as an employee, the terms and conditions. Thereafter, the employer has to confirm, and that the employer need not to wait for the 3 months to elapse to confirm your employment. But it depends between the two whether the person is able to perform according to what the employee's expectations. So what is needed is that the employer, it must be given to the employee, and it must be clear to the employee. It must be in line with the law. Let me put it that way. Because the policies are there, but they are law that are guiding us. What we expect from employers is that the policies that they make must not be less favorable than what is covered in the law. It must be more better than what is in the law.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Magetuli, for that insight on grievances and also policies that employers should have. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Digital helps you make cross-border payments. Human gives you global specialists. Digital allows you to apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Human connects you to credit experts. Digital puts you in control of your money, while Human connects you to wealth advisors. Digital allows you to freeze, unfreeze, cancel, and reorder your card. Human gives you that personal touch. Digital when you want it. Human when you need it. Get the complete private banking experience with Nedbank Private Clients.
Welcome back to the program. Let's welcome again today. We've had him on the show before. His name is Saneliso Ndando. He's the electronic banking specialist from Nedbank Eswatini. Now, Nedbank has been leading the charge in digital banking solutions, introducing a lot of innovations like cell phone banking, the Nedbank Money app, as well as the Nedbank app. It's quite a lot of them. I'm sure there's also one called the Mobi Money Wallet. But now for busy entrepreneurs like Liswati, Nedbank offers corporate online banking, allowing seamless management of finances on the go. Benefits including the ability to transact from anywhere, mobile phone authorization access, and simplified payment processes. The Nedbank corporate online banking is revolutionizing the banking experience. Now, be with us as we explore the major features that it has, the payment options as well as the statement retrieval capabilities, the safety features, cards management functionalities, and more. And more. Welcome to the future of banking with Nedbank, and let's welcome Saneliso Ndando. Welcome to the program again. Let's get into it. I really like talking about anything digital, and I'm happy that I have you on the program because on the last one that we had, I got a lot of insight, and I'm sure Nasemaka, they really appreciate it. In fact, we did even see the reception on the comments and our social media platforms, as well as just the reception that we got there. Today, let's talk about how much you have really tapped into, the digitization of things. Okay. Maybe you could start by telling us the banking solutions that you have introduced since the advent of the digital banking.
All right. With the digital solutions that we have now, some of them, as we spoke the last time, are our retail solutions, meaning they are for our retail clients. For example, we have our cell phone banking, that's the USSD. We have the Nedbank Money app and Nedbank Mobi Money Wallet. We also have for online, meaning on your laptop, on your computer, you can do your personal online banking. And then one that I'm quite excited about actually is the corporate online banking.
Let's get into that one. I want us to get into that one because, as we know it, business people are always busy. And, you know, they're always into their hustle. Bahlale basho ukuthi bona abalali, sleep is for, you know, the rich. And, you know, people always are chasing that bag. That's the language that they are using. And this year, there's this famous phrase, standing on business. As people stand on business this year, what solutions are available in Nedbank for Liswati who owns a business?
All right. Ngiyoke, the one that I said we're going to speak on today, that's our Nedbank corporate online banking, which is our solution for our corporate clients and for our SME clients. So my business lomkhulu na my business lomncane.
Yeah. Let's get into its benefits then. You know, what are the benefits of Nedbank corporate, say, online banking? Yeah.
Okay. I would wrap that up, or I would sum that up in one word: convenience.
Okay.
The convenience that I'm speaking about is that you are able to transact from anywhere. You're able to, or it eliminates the need for meeting up in person. How we used to do banking, that's in my business.
Yeah.
If kuna mali that we need to move, or money that needs to get withdrawn, ngiyabhala incwadi mina esignatoring ngithi ngiyavuma kuthi akukhishwe imali ihambe mhlawumbe yeku another signatory noma ngisecretary uyasayina naye nalomnye uyasayina. We're saying now you don't need to have those in-person meetups.
Right.
There's also a wonderful function where we're calling it mobile phone authorization access. Basically, that's saying you don't need to use your actual computer to make your payments. You can log on to your phone because it's a site, and from your mobile, you are able to input payments. You're also able to authorize payments as the authorizer.
It's quite interesting. That's very smart, by the way. But let's talk about the major features of maybe corporate online banking, the major features.
Okay. When we speak of a business, right, whether it be your SME or whether it be your corporate, how we separate them from a retail customer is, since for businesses, we're going to have MI user, different types of users. We have those people that will be inputting payments, it's about input labo, and then we have those that are going to be authorizing the payment. So the final person who gets, or the final people that give the tick to say this payment must go through. So one of the major features is we have segregated the users in that way, and also those users will have an OTP. A one-time PIN or one-time password to authorize any of the payments that they are making. Right. We also have two exciting features, being bulk send money and bulk payments. Send money, we spoke on a bit the last time I was here, Kulumela on the retail side. We're saying also for our corporates, because you will have a situation where someone does maybe a small job or petty cash, you're able to send money nangala naga corporate, but also you can say, if I've got 5 people that I employ that say they don't have bank accounts for whatever reason, you can send money in one file to all 5 of those people.
It's quite interesting. You know, the reason behind OTPs, I'm really curious behind those, because parents in particular get frustrated and they make mistakes. Maybe nakafaka le pin lapho khansi uyifaka kabi noma ayifake khansi ukuthi lo mshini loyo uthi imali ngiyabekisa sekufuna ukuthi aye kulenye iATM lenayo le mali sekufuna generator kabusha ipin. It's always stressful on their end. Perhaps let's take this opportunity to teach them, because they always watch this show. I would say, why is it an OTP?
Okay, it's a security feature, because it's a lenvo. But albeit the sweethearts that they are, bayalishiya icingo lapha. Umntwana athathe icingo adlale ngecingo. If your child would have access, sometimes we do stuff that is not all the way correct. Like you'll say, ngifuna kuhambisa imali ngiyavila lapha yezibani bani awuthathe nalicingo ungene ipin it usendele zibani bani imali. Kusasa that person may remember that pin. So what the OTP says, it says as soon as you try to transact, it will send that pin or that password to the device lowaikhetha or inombolo yakho. So it's a notification of sorts, and it's a security feature, so that lo munye lo lekashane noma ngabe mhlawumbe ukhonile ngene emshinini ngema credentials akho, they won't have access to that final step of authorizing that payment.
I want us to get into the available payment options. That is big on digital banking nowadays, and the more the merrier, I believe. How much more do you have with as Nedbank?
Okay, maybe it would help if I split it. So the first few, there's not few, it's a lot. The first options that I'll speak on are options that are similar for both retail customers and our corporate clients.
Okay.
Those being your single payment, meaning I'm making a payment from my account to somebody else's account.
Yeah.
We have multiple payments. There I'm saying I want to log on once, enter the details of up to 20 accounts, that's recipients,
okay.
and then send that payment off once with only one OTP being required. We also have the send money option, which we spoke on for retail, and we say we also have that option here for our corporate clients, as well as tax payments and own account transfers. Those are the ones that I'm saying are similar for both retail and for our corporate clients. Specifically now for only the corporate clients, they have that additional payment option being the bulk send money, which is sending money to someone's phone, but to a lot of people at the same time.
Right.
And then we have an additional payment being the bulk payments. There we're saying you are going to be sending money to different people's accounts, but again, I want to capture all of those details for all those payments I want to make in one file and then send it off once.
It's quite interesting because as we talk about business people, we talk about people that pay people. And you want to be able to pay. If you have 20 employees, it should be pleasing to learn that you can pay up to 20 of them at the very same time using the multiple payments, I believe you said.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I wonder, do you have a limit with the bulk payment?
As in for the number of
Yes.
I think it's something like 99,900,
Wow.
but it's a
That's
lot.
Quite a lot. Okay.
It's a lot.
Fair enough. I don't think there's anyone that has that many employees anyway.
We hope, because we already tax
No, this will be a lot. Let's talk about keeping records and transactions. Companies love to keep records. In fact, they have to keep records, as it were. Are they able to obtain statements?
Okay. Yes, they are. I think that's the short answer. They are able to obtain statements. But what we've done further for the convenience of our clients is we've said we'll give you up to 6 months worth of transaction history. That means I don't want to necessarily pull up a statement. I want to check on between the 3rd and the 8th of a particular month, what transactions happened there. So we give you 6 months worth of that information to keep. You also have 6 months worth of audit history. We call it transaction audit history. That basically means you can go to any transaction that happened within the last 6 months and check who initiated that payment from the organization side and then who authorized that payment, right? So that's for audit purposes. You can also, going back to your original question, get up to 6 months worth of statements. So from Nyalogung April, you can go 6 months back, and then you can also get 6 months worth of proof of payments for any transactions that you've done. Gulo 6 months, maybe for clarity, we're not saying if it goes beyond 6 months, we're just saying you would then have to reach out to your banker to say, please, can you furnish me with these extra ones?
Yeah. And I suppose that also furnishes you with 6 months worth of transaction audit trail.
Yes, sir.
So?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's what I was saying, Gutsi, then we are able to go back at any point in 6 months to say this particular transaction, who initiated it, who authorized it, what time did this happen, on what date did this happen, and again, all for a period of up to 6 months.
The biggest worry when it comes to anything online today is fraud. We've seen quite a lot of cases, not locally. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of those locally, but I do watch a lot of movies, and part of as a film student myself, I know part of the responsibility of filmmakers is to raise awareness, and they do raise awareness. I've seen The Beekeeper, for instance, and there was a moment where there was some fraudulent behavior when it comes to money there. And it makes me wonder, when it comes to such developments with the corporate online banking service that you have, do you have safety features that would prevent such cases of fraudulent behavior or password reset, all those things?
That's an amazing question. Thank you for that. I would start off by saying the first security, or the largest security feature we have, is the OTPs. Because it's in Zaba Yema OTP, as you're sitting here, if you got a message that said this is your OTP for a transaction, already it's alerting you to say khona loloke one credentials akho wathi ufuna kwendi payment.
Yes.
So that's the first one, it's the OTPs. We also then have a report fraud function. Report fraud says you're looking over your statement, there's a transaction there that you don't necessarily remember. Niyabutana ngapanini kwendeke lana kude lo khumbulako specifically. You are able to choose to report that specific transaction as fraud. We investigated for you in the back end. Says by the time Sikshayla says it's no lana, when they get or we're noting that this is a transaction that you seem to be doing monthly. Is it not included that you forgot or would say maybe plan this month?
Yeah.
We also have one of a very good feature also is our own password reset. So it's your own profile password. So if Tine were in the same company, rather than gushayile bhange uthi wena ngikhohle password yami ngiresetheleni, you can do that on your own. I also have the same functionality to say mase ngingenile la card, say I log in and I haven't started doing any payments, but sengibona noma sengena leyo OTP saying there's a transaction that I've initiated, it would mean, or one of the things you could think of is someone has logged on to my profile. While you're logged on, you can select, would say, I want to change my password, so that as soon as whoever is on, if Berakona Vele, would get kicked off and they would have to try and log on again.
We have the whole year to discuss more of these features that you have, all these solutions that you have, because I really wanted us to talk about some of, the card management features that you have. But because of time, I have to say goodbye to you, Mr. Ndando, and hopefully we'll have you soon again to delve into that.
Most definitely.
Thank you. Sanliso Ndando from Nedbank Eswatini. We hope that you have really appreciated all the insights that he has provided us today, and that you will really enjoy all the solutions that they offer, particularly for our SMEs that we see a big drive, in Eswatini, as well as a lot of these businesses that are brewing. Eswatini is really, really becoming a business hub. We leverage all these features that Nedbank have for you. Let's go for a net break. Stop. We are still going to
All right, so welcome back. You're still watching Nedbank Business Watch. I'm now joined by our in-house business journalist, Nelsiwe Ndlangamadla, to discuss this story. But before we discuss, let's just play you a clip of the story. Peace and security are the key fundamentals of a growing economy. These were the words of the head governance, peace and security at the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, Dr. Oita A. Tiang, when explaining the objectives of the sensitization of civil society actors and national human rights institutions on the children affected by armed conflicts workshop in the Comesa region held at Happy Valley Hotel.
Very important for economies to grow in an environment of peace, tranquility. And if you have peace at the regional level and also at the national level, it allows the factors of production to move easily, business can easily grow, and at the end of the day, the regional integration agenda can be realized. Eswatini is one of COMESA members and one of the strongest members of COMESA, and there are factors that are impacting Eswatini. There are structural factors to do with the youth unemployment. And we have a program on youth, and we'll work closely with government and see how can we empower our youths, how can we enhance their ability to contribute effectively and efficiently to the growth of Eswatini economy.
The regional director of the Child Rights Network for Southern Africa says the youth is the future. even for businesses, hence they should be protected from armed conflicts.
It is important that countries do respect children's rights. We should understand that children's rights are the livelihood and development issues. Firstly, children form the bulk or the majority of our populations in our countries, especially in SADC and Eastern African countries. So if we do the right investment in children, it means the right health services, the right educational services. We would ensure that these become adults tomorrow who have the right skills, who have the right competencies, who have the right mindset and the right attitude.
Thabo Magagula, the Senior Child Protection and Migration Coordinator from Save the Children Eswatini, shares his views on the workshop by COMESA.
That it is building capacity in CSOs, and especially that are in Eswatini, insofar as giving them capacity to understand and appreciate conflict and the effects of conflict, especially on children. But also, conflict does not only impact children, but it also impacts in terms of the economy, because wars are wars because of some people or some entities are funding them. So it is this reason that we deem it to be important, because it's going to help in our work that we also incorporate the protection of children that are affected by conflict, even if those children do not come from within our borders.
According to the International Monetary Fund, global levels of violence are at a 30-year high, and more than 80 million people had been forcefully displaced prior to the discovery of the coronavirus. For Business Watch, Nalswindla Ngamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
All right, so that was a workshop held by COMESA. They were talking about peace and security. I'm now joined by our in-house journalist, Nelsie Wendlangamandla, to discuss this further. Nelly, I know that COMESA was talking about children in armed conflicts, but I think we should bring it back to the effects that it has on businesses, and also the economy of the country.
Thank you so much, Lulu. Ngivusele nembukele ekhaya. Lokhu umqoka kakhulu, we haven't seen much conflict in Eswatini, but lamanye emave la ku COMESA region siwabonile ukuthi abenawo ema conflicts, even ema conflicts la ngesheya kwetilwandle angibekise njengabo Ukraine and Russia. We've seen Ukraine losing 30 to 35% of its GDP due to the war lekhona with Russia. So it's the same thing with these countries under COMESA, because who wants to operate in a conflict zone? Foreign direct investment, which government is trying to or attract to Eswatini, they will lose the interest. So that is why it is very important for different countries to ensure ukuthi agabi khona lama armed conflict, and it disrupts the transactions even emabhange. Ngeke emabhange elive leSwatini akhona ukuthi achumane nemabhange angaphandle kwekuthi live likhona phela ukuthi limikise etimakethe leti ngaphandle. So those are some of the challenges. Even the trading routes, taba madima nje ukuthi Eswatini ulethe letinye tinfo, so we won't be able to export and to import to the country. Naloko sekungagcina nathi sekusikhozela ema-tensions njengoba bamvu batabe sebangakajabuli kahle.
Yeah, well explained. Thank you, Nelly, so much. Unfortunately, ngesikhathi we have to cut it short. We'll take a break. Nasbias Fiso has a discussion on the market analysis with Thabo.
Digital helps you make cross-border payments. Human gives you global specialists. Digital allows you to apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Human connects you to credit experts. Digital puts you in control of your money, while Human connects you to wealth advisors. Digital allows you to freeze, unfreeze, cancel, and reorder your card. Human gives you that personal touch. Digital when you want it. Human when you need it. Get the complete private banking experience with Nedbank Private Clients.
Ujala masoda mahle kunathi lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu
Sifile sive sikhulumeni.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 76222000 or dial *007 *3 *7 hash. Or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any Nedbank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Welcome back to the program. Let's get into the financial markets of the day. Commodities, equities, and the United States dollar are all showing positive movement today. Commodities are up, indicating increased demand or favorable market conditions for resources like oil, gold, and agricultural products. Equities are also in the green, suggesting overall optimism in the stock markets with higher stock prices. The United States dollar has weakened slightly. Overall, it appears to be a positive day. Let's welcome Head of the Treasury Sales Manager, Toba Gamete from Nedbank. To look at these numbers, Toba, welcome to the program, by the way.
Thank you, Swiso, and good afternoon to you and your viewers.
Good afternoon. Let's get into it. I want us to start by looking at the currencies today, acknowledging what the United States dollar is showing us today, being weak a little bit. I wonder how it affects, what the overall currencies today are looking like, how the Lilangeni is compared to the US dollar and other currencies. Perhaps we'll see the graphic go up soon. Just talk us through the numbers.
All right, so thank you, Swiso. And as you've said, the dollar is weak today. We actually started seeing the weakness yesterday afternoon due to two things, really. The first being changing sentiments in the risk for investors, and the second being data that's coming out of the US. Yesterday, we saw PMI numbers that tracks trends in manufacturing and services. So that showed a contraction in manufacturing, thus weakening the rand. As you can see, the dollar rather. As you can see, the rand is the dollar rather is trading at 19.1750 against the ZAR, up 0.33%, against the euros 20.4914, up 0.18%, and against the pound 23.8557, up 0.17.
I want us to look at commodities. I know we were discussing yesterday that the S&P 500 was looking good. Was it yesterday or on Monday? I believe it was yesterday. I was discussing that with another economist. Today, everything is on the green. What is this suggesting?
Yeah, so the trend is continuing from yesterday, as you've rightfully said. I think the key thing when it comes to equities is S&P 500. It's earnings reporting, basically, first quarter earning reporting. So investors are looking at that data to make decisions on where to invest rather than macroeconomic data that's coming out. So the S&P 500 is trading plus 1.2% at $5,000.55 the leader there being Tesla. I think Tesla shot up 9.9% in its share price this morning after the company announced that they will be introducing or manufacturing newer and more less costly models of the electric car.
I want us to look at Brent crude oil and gold really quick. Yes, the graphic will go up as well, but before we get there, I understand that's also on the green today.
Yes, that's correct.
What is that suggesting?
All right, so when the gold is trading at $327.84 per ounce, up 0.25%. So for gold, basically, it's due to dollar weakness. So if the dollar is low, then gold will then tick up. And then when we look at Brent crude, it's also up slightly, 0.09% at $88.5 per barrel. With Brent crude oil, it's due to a report that came out in the US on Friday, surprisingly, saying that stockpiles in the US have declined.
Toba, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I think you're leaving us with the sentiment that today it appears to be an overall good day in terms of commodities and equities. It's a positive day. Thank you.
It is. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Toba Gamete, Treasury Sales Manager from Nedbank Eswatini. That was our financial markets of the day. Let's wrap up the show with Lungelele after the break.
Digital helps you make cross-border payments. Human gives you global specialists. Digital allows you to apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Human connects you to credit experts. Digital puts you in control of your money, while Human connects you to wealth advisors. Digital allows you to freeze, unfreeze, cancel, and reorder your card. Human gives you that personal touch. Digital when you want it. Human when you need it. Get the complete private banking experience with Nedbank Private Clients.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu sivile sive sikhulume.
That is how we end our program today. It's been lovely having you on the program. Hopefully you'll be with us again tomorrow on Market View and all the other programs that Eswatini TV has to offer for you. It's going to be a public holiday tomorrow.
All right, that's it for this episode of Nedbank Business Watch. We'll see you next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Have a good day.
Make better money choices. Choose a bank that takes your money seriously. Business Watch was brought to you by Nedbank.